All right, my friends, we are back. We're doing a live stream. We got Don from Haven
What's up?
Smart. How's it going?
What's up, man?
We got a guest over here. We got Chad. Chad's our new video guy. I wanted to introduce you guys to Chad. We're going to up our production quality, and he's going to be a big maybe. We're hoping. So, if anybody thinks our audio is a little bit off, I'm actually testing the Bose VB1 soundbar right now. I'm using that in my theater room as the camera, as the microphone. And if the sound quality is good, I could potentially have a bunch of guests here live streaming with us at any time and not have to worry about setting up a array of microphones.
Call it a Bose bang.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild that when we tested it earlier, it sounded really good considering we just threw it up on a table, plugged it in, didn't have to set anything up.
So what I want to do now is I want to just go over the Florida Audio Expo. We were just there. I was there Friday with Don and Chad, and then Don went back on Saturday to just do some extra coverage. I want to show you guys some audio porn. I'm going to give you guys some pictures that we took at the show. Chad's going to help us with producing, we probably got six, 7 videos that we're going to be coming down the pipe in the next couple of weeks on the highlights of the show that we covered. But you know what? It was nice being at a show again because we've been void of trade shows for the last year or two from COVID. So it was actually nice getting to meet people face to face, get to meet the manufacturers. The Florida Audio Expo is really 2-channel focused more than the home theater. But we love 2-channel, right, Don? We're all 2-channel fans.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we all started. We still, every system we set up, the foundation is the quality of the 2-channel for sure. I like this show. It's a lot of fun. I mean, listen, if you've never been to a high-end audio show, the vendors are kind of limited to a hotel room, most of them. So not a ton that they can do to set up and show stuff. But I thought everybody did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, you're limited. Like you said, you're setting up actual hotel rooms and trying to turn those into a listening space. And you can only do so much with the room acoustics that you're given and the lighting that you're given. But it was just fun to actually see the products in hand, get to touch them. I think you commented how you didn't realize how pretty those Paralisten speakers were until you actually got some light on them.
Opened the windows and saw them, and they were just beautiful. The outside finish of them and the cones, the way that they do the checkerboard.
That text. It's called TextStream.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my screen, and Don, you sent me some pictures, and I've got a couple of pictures. We'll see how this goes here. And like I said, we are going to be doing some videos too. So let me open up my folder.
Into the infinite space.
Okay. Do you see the image?
Yeah, the Von Schweikert.
Well, those are Von Schweikert, right?
Von Schweikert. Yeah, those are beautiful speakers, man.
Yeah. So he's done some good speakers over the years, and his products have moved upscale. So these are not inexpensive.
No, I think I didn't ask him specifically how much what you're looking at it, but I would say that's probably between $350,000 to $500,000 worth of gear just right there. Not to mention
are those amplifiers in the middle? VAC, right?
Yeah, they're VAC. Beautiful. I'm gorgeous. Who wouldn't want to own that? Oh,
for sure. Yeah, pretty cool. Did you actually listen to them?
Yeah, I did. I mean, they sounded amazing as always. Again, big room, a lot of space, a lot of people. Best we could do, to listen to them. I mean, you don't even have to turn those on to like them. They look so good.
Yeah, they sound good just sitting there, right?
Yeah, they really did. That's the back of the room.
Are these Von Schweikerts too?
I believe so. I believe those are more of the, I wouldn't say entry level, but lower price version, and then more VAC amplifiers. I mean, they're works of art.
VAC is in Florida, aren't they? In Sarasota?
Yeah, that's what I've told. I think near the Sarasota area. I believe.
Yeah, we gotta hit them up maybe and get some of their product in for testing.
I just want to sit and look at it. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Here we have Brian Dolan.
Brian Dolan, the COO of Haven Smart, hearing his first ultra high-end recording, binaural recording and he couldn't believe it. He's like, "Oh my God, I didn't know such things existed." So,
right. Where was this at?
What's that?
Where was this at?
I forget. Let me see. It's the Italian company that made those. Are $11,000 headphones.
Wow. Were they comfortable?
Yeah, they were great. They were beautiful. They're all made out of titanium. I mean, they're super, super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where Krell was. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to talk to anybody from Krell when we were there. However, we did spend some time with Opa from Gershman Acoustics, and she was gracious. We actually shot a video with her. Interesting company, 30 years in the business out of Canada, hand build everything themselves. Great sound coming from this. This is I believe the model of this speaker is, and I shall tell you,
I think it's the Grand
Avant-Garde. This is the Grand Avant-Garde. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're Canadian.
They're pretty small in the scheme of things, but yeah, they've got a plenum or whatever in the bottom of them that takes, and the bass fires down into it and it dissipates the low frequencies.
Yeah, they got the isoacoustics on there too, right?
Yeah, everybody. Isoacoustics was in the house at this show. Just about every speaker had them on, as they should have. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I think these speakers were appropriately sized for the room, so to speak.
Yeah.
And great company, fantastic sound, and again, just really gracious people.
So you were a Krell guy back in the day, weren't you, Don?
I was. I put in tons of Krell products. In fact, I got to hang out and spend some time with the old president and founder, Dan D'Agostino. Yep. And Krell was always my favorite amp for many, many years. Not super familiar with the new stuff, but I mean, I know it reviews really, really well. I'd certainly like to get my hands on their integrated amplifier, the 300, I believe, 300i. It's supposed to be So, and
are these the robots from Lost in Space? Danger
Will Robinson. Yeah, the very expensive ones. Another fantastic room. I mean, what can you say? This is their flagship system. I would say that this system is probably $500,000. It's just absolutely unbelievable.
It looks like a Tesla coil, like you're going to see some electrodes kind of lighting.
It does. It looks like some kind of steampunk engine.
Jacob's ladder, like a Jacob's ladder.
Yeah, super cool. I mean, they always have a strong showing. I think this is the premiere of their new flagship system with the bass modules in the back.
Is that what those black things are? Those are sub modules?
Yeah, bass modules for it. You know, honestly, nobody really turns it up like I like to listen to it. So, but I mean, it sounded wonderful. I'd like to see what this thing's capable of if you let it open. Unfortunately, it's so crowded and there's so much, so limited amount of time and space that it's hard to really get interviews and videos of the stuff. So we kind of popped in, did some listening to some.
That was a struggle this time. We didn't. Next year, we're going to plan ahead, and I'm going to try to be there over the entire weekend.
Right.
And we'll try to call these companies in advance and set up times like we do with Cedia. When I do Cedia interviews, I always set that up in advance. But this was kind of a last minute.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that. I mean, listen, when you're working it and you're trying to get information and talk to vendors and then getting stopped in the hallway, which is cool, about people watching channel and stuff, which was always great. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I'd like to go just like sit and listen, and really, just like all the other civilians there. But it's definitely a challenge. Now, Muradio, this company, I really dug the sound of these speakers.
Yeah, I heard these a couple of years back.
Yeah, that's a really interesting twist on a hybrid electrostat speaker. Their stator panels, or if you look at the different angles on them, I think their deal is better dispersion than your typical Martin Logan or some of the other electrostats out there. I like the elevated platforms. Really, really cool sound, man. That integrated amp right there was a beast. So it was great. Nice people too.
Cool. I wish I could do a slide presentation on this, but it's not. My program's not letting me do that for some reason. But anyways, so Paralisten. I finally got to hear them.
Yeah,
I'm getting them Wednesday. I'm getting the 7 STs, but so now they have a new model, the R7T, I think it's called, and it's half the price of the flagship. And I would say it has, maybe 90-95% of the performance. And in fact, when we did the interview, they talked about the fact that they don't scale sound quality; they scale SPL. So the flagship
Right.
will play a good 3 or 4 dB louder than these.
Yeah, it's 3 dBs difference, but it's still, I mean, for a tower speaker that size, I believe the larger ones will play like 119 dBs, and these will play like 116 dB.
Yeah.
Just, you know, plenty of volume. They use a silk dome tweeter in their array versus the beryllium.
Yep.
A little bit different driver, but it's a very similar speaker for in that really competitive $10,000 price range. I mean, there's a lot of good speakers there. They're going to be I love the outriggers they have on them. Now these are available in several colors if you like white and black, and that's what they're available in. So there's no wood finishes or
not like
on there, and they've done that to control pricing.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I thought it was nice to actually sit down and listen to them. Initially, when I looked at the speakers, I'm like, man, that tweeter level is too low. But then when you sit down and you're in the chair and you're at a distance from them, and there's a slight angle tilt on the baffle.
Yeah, they got the outriggers are really, really nice on them. I mean,
yeah,
it's one of the things about the Perlistens is the beauty of the speaker does not translate it well in the video or camera. When you see them in person, they're stunning. I mean, they're
I tried in the B-roll.
Yeah, you try to get the wood finish, right? But we didn't have enough light in the room.
Yeah, I ended up opening the curtains and getting some good shots of them because they invoked an emotional response from me. I really thought the outside ones there. I thought they were beautiful.
Yeah, because they cranked them up too. I mean, listen, I know everybody's likes their chamber music and stuff, but I mean, you know, Smelly Cat and B flat. But I think the people that would put a little bit of juice on them, and people are playing some Zeppelin and some other stuff. It was nice to rock out a little bit. And these things have
Tool, right?
Oh yeah, I got them to put.
Yeah.
Let's see, I had them put Tempest on Tool from the new album.
Yeah,
and they cranked it.
Yeah, we were trying to shoot a video for Q Acoustics, and all of a sudden I'm hearing Tool in the background. I'm like, oh. It must be. I thought it was Don because you like to listen to extreme levels, but Chad's very
to a point. I like to listen. My hearing.
You know what you like. That's right. So I wanted to show. This is the Paralisten crossover, and there's a really good array of parts there. Most of those parts are 1% tolerance, and the reason why that's important is if you want to get consistency from speaker to speaker, or if you just want to hit those targets correctly in the crossover points. It's hard to do with 5%, 10% tolerant parts, which is what most companies use. The fact that they're using 1% parts and they're using these pretty heavy duty resistors, non-inductive resistors. And
I mean, if you're an engineer, that's like porn. I mean, that's a beautiful crossover.
Even their speaker cable, they did that themselves. They twisted the pairs themselves to cancel out coupling and mutual inductance. So, I mean, you could tell an engineer designed these, someone that actually understands and appreciates the science.
Perlisten's come a long way in a short amount of time. I would love to see an active version of these someday, man. I bet those would scream.
For sure. I mean, they've reached the limits of what they could do with a passive crossover, so it only makes sense to go active.
For sure.
So here's a brand that kind of impressed both of us, Don.
Yeah, those things were surprisingly nice. I mean, those are really affordable speakers. I love the stands that they put on those bookshelves. This is their entry level series, I believe, that they just kind of came out with, and I was shocked at how good they sound. Hey, Gene, you remember the integrated amp, the brand of that $2,000 one?
I can't remember the brand, but I remember it was like 150 or 200 watts a channel, and it
100 watts a channel. Yeah, it was 100 watts a channel. Yeah. Streams, has all the Google, compatible with several different things. We're going to get one of those and some of these speakers in the test here soon.
I think the whole system, I think with the towers or with the bookshelf speakers with the integrated, it was like $3,000. And then if you wanted the towers
were $3,000, $29.99.99. The integrated amp's $2,000.
Yeah. So if you want the towers with the integrated amp, you're looking at $5,000.
Right. Well, I mean, for a killer setup, I like the new trend on smaller components to put them in an office or put them in a different location. I know NAD's doing a lot of that, and several companies seem to be doing that this year. But yeah, this was a surprisingly good setup. I mean, for the money invested in it, I think those stands are $500 a pair, and I believe those bookshelves were like $1,200 a pair. So under $2,000, that's a pretty cool looking setup. And the colors were great. They had that gray metallic color on those bookshelves was just stunning.
Yep.
Talk the isolation between the stand and the bookshelves, Don.
Yeah, it has some kind of little pivoting piece on it in the top where you actually can kind of move them. So it kind of decouples it from the stand, which decouples it from the floor, which is really cool. I mean, this company is offering some real value for performance versus value. I mean, I think they're going to be a contender out of England.
And the fit and finish on it, like the cabinetry was just awesome when you knocked on it. It was solid.
Yeah, for that level of audio, it really was.
Yeah, I enjoyed that demo actually.
Yeah, it was cool.
So here we have RBH's 8300, the Unrivaled series. These are actually in my house right now. I lent them to them to do some demos, and they did a really good demo, man.
We kind of worked with RBH a little bit on the Unrivaled series. So Unrivaled is their new division, which is an elevated level of sound and equipment. So what you're looking at on the flanking, the big ones, which Gene and I both have, but this is the Obsidian version with the black drivers, which I think's dope.
Love it.
So these are active. So the sub modules get 1500 watts each. The mid range on each speaker, the 3/8, get 500 watts, and each tweeter gets 250 watts. Digitally crossed over in the digital domain through the Marani processor, using RBH's own Class D amplification, the Unrivaled, which is actually really, really good amplification. I mean, very, very good. So those were stunning. It was definitely the most dynamic sound at the show, and the RBH boys aren't afraid to crank it up, which is cool. The 8300s are part of their new series. I believe these are going to be a little over 20 grand. These are in Ferrari red. This is a passive speaker featuring dual 6.5s and their AMT tweeter with 3 aluminum 8-inch bass drivers. And if you would think there was a 12-inch sub or a larger playing in that room when they played. I mean, and of course, ISO acoustic stands on everything. They also have, and I think you've got another picture, the other two models in the series. Gene has the red, the 8300 at his place, and I have the 6500s, which is the white speaker, which is same driver Diapolito configuration as the 83, but with 3 aluminum 6.5-inch bass drivers. Great sound and speaker, passive. The ones that really secret sauce is the little bookshelves, which I have in my office, which I have to send a SWAT team to get those from me. Those are the PM6s. Those are part of the Unrivaled series. Those are in Ferrari yellow. The white ones are in Lamborghini white. Now, these are powered monitors. They have a 250 watt Class D amp to the bass driver and a 150 watt amp to the AMT tweeter. They have built-in DSP. And also, these speakers are the first ever on the market that have built-in Audality wireless technology into it. And Audality is something we're going to do a live stream on here soon and talk about this really groundbreaking audio technology that has a range of up to 1,300 feet, which will actually stream audio in 9624. It's the only high-resolution wireless streaming system out there, and it's phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about these.
It's completely lossless. So you can't tell the difference between wireless versus plugging in an actual cable.
They have a dongle, and then you can hook that dongle to with an adapter to your phone. Yeah, that's everything kind of set up for the family shoot.
What camera do you got better pictures than I did on my phone. Is that the Sony?
No, it was my iPhone.
iPhone.
Yeah, so this new Unrivaled series is really going to be a giant killer. I know RBH doesn't get a lot of love in the rest of the audio media, but I'm telling you, this company, dollar for dollar, pound for pound, is really hard to beat. I mean, they put out some phenomenal sound. Shane Rich is a good friend of ours and a brilliant speaker designer. The craftsmanship and really the paint job. So I don't know if I'm supposed to tell anybody, but those paint jobs are done by an internationally known custom automotive painter. And it cost them thousands at cost to paint these speakers with these finishes on them.
Oh, wow.
But I will tell you, I mean, they're stunning. They really are. So, and I think they've got to have some base colors. And I think obviously they're going to have some custom options on that too. As they go, you would need to contact RBH about it. But again, it was really cool. The SVTRs, you own them, Gene. I own them. I just don't know, if there's a speaker out there, I mean, if you get the passive SVTRs, you're under $17,000. Think about the amount of sound and sound quality that that these speakers produce. They will comfortably play above THX levels if you really want to turn them up, but they're very delicate and almost like small monitors.
Yeah,
on the sound quality, but I'm not here to do a review. I just own them, so it's easy to talk about them.
For sure. So here's a relatively new company. I think they're based out of Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
They are in the Tampa area. So
RJS Acoustic. That's
yeah,
the subwoofers behind those quads. I think those are quad ESLs.
No. Those are Maggie's.
Maggie's. I get them confused. Yeah, Maggie's. Yeah,
different technology. So the Maggies obviously don't have, especially the small ones, don't have much bass. So they're not really making subwoofers. They're making an augmentation to a speaker. Module. So if you, bass modules that are built for sound quality and speed. They play very low and they couple with the floor. I mean, it's a really neat idea and a great product. The gentleman, I forget his name, that started his company was just great. I mean, he was wonderful to talk to. Wouldn't mind getting some of that in. I'd say it'd be cool to pair those maybe in a corner or back with a nice set of bookshelves. If you really wanted to have a full range sound without a dedicated LFE type subwoofer setup, this is a good alternative to do that. I believe they use 6.5-inch drivers only in this particular thing.
3 of them. Yeah. No, that was a good, I enjoyed listening to those speakers. I don't get to hear those kind of speakers often. I mean, I did notice you have to sit because as soon as when you stand up, you lose all the high frequencies. But
well, I mean, that's just, Maggie's make amazing sound. They just come at a price. I mean, you got to look at them and you got to be in a position. Electrostats do the same thing. So
Suncoast Audio, I've met the guys there before, and they're big fans of what we do, and
they're great people, man. They had several rooms set up.
So those aren't their speakers. That's a company. Is that Vivid Audio?
Yeah, it's the Nightmare Before Christmas speakers.
Did you hear that?
Gumdrop. I mean, you either love them or hate them. You know what I mean? They're the gourds, but they sounded great. I mean,
I want to hear those.
Was it block amplifiers? Those amps were just vicious. So
I think the guy that designed the cabinetry for those is the guy that designed the Nautilus speakers for Bowers.
Well, I mean, it really dongle. The comments, what's a dongle? It's a little piece you put on electronics. That cabinet's really interesting in how it deals with the resonance frequencies and kind of what the B&W does and the backfeeding and the sound. I mean, it's a great idea. I believe it really takes the cabinet out of the equation. They're a really good speaker. I didn't get to spend a bunch of time here. It was a pretty crowded room, but it sounded amazing. Suncoast had some really killer setups, and the people were just wonderful. They're just down here in Sarasota, and they're great people. And I think everybody, they're a real true high-end audio store, which you just don't see much of anymore.
Yeah, we got to definitely support that, man, for sure. Let's see what else we got here. TNA. I'm not making this up. That's the name of the electronics. TNA.
Yeah, the TNA stuff was killer, man. That very, 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 very expensive product. But if you look at the series on the right, it's the new compact series. They've got just a world-class DAC for about $7,000, integrated amplifier or preamp, then a small amp. The other stuff on the left looks kind of retro, super high end, but I mean it's a baller product, heavy hitter. This room sounded really, really good.
Yeah, they had TAD speakers.
TAD speakers, yeah, that was a new model, or they put out a new model. They moved those out of the way, but TAD's always made great speakers. They sounded really, really good. Again, you can kind of see the size of the room. You just don't have a lot of space to work with, but it was cool. That sounded really, really good.
Yeah,
love the looks.
Very cool. So I just wrote down tubes. I know those are Bowers looking speakers. I can't read them.
Those are 803s, the black something. These things were wicked. They were
the brand of those amplifiers? I can't read it in the picture.
Black Ace or I got it in my notes. I just didn't have my notes. Sorry, guys. I wasn't prepared.
But it's kind of blurry. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, it's hard to get pictures in low lighting like that. And
yeah, that room was really dark. So it was warm too. It was pretty hot in there, you know, that many people
you
coming
drop
in.
out when it gets too hot in a room, you're out.
Yeah, but they had blankets up and some LED lighting. Here's the table of probably $500,000 worth of.
Oh, there's a house payment right here.
Yeah, house payment. It's a house.
It's a house.
Yeah, that turntable was the coolest thing I've ever seen, man. That thing is just a beast. So it actually has the bottom piece rotates in the opposite direction, I believe, to balance it out. It was just, I mean, it was just over the top. Even the Von Schweikert speakers sitting next to it, the paint job on those was just incredible. Great product. Again, Florida made product. Like to open some communication with those guys and test some of their stuff out. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there was a good vibe at the show, you know, but a lot of people were there. I went on Friday it wasn't as crowded as what you said was on
Black Ice. Thanks,
Black
Jerry.
Ice.
They're Black Ice.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. But everybody was here. Everybody overall was pretty enthused about being there and getting to hear, you know, their favorite brands up front. It was nice to be recognized by our fans as well. Appreciate everybody coming up.
Everybody was cool.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So yeah, it was. I mean, those audio shows are great. It's from a press standpoint, it's difficult to get the time because they have a window and they got to haul their equipment up and they got to set it up, which is pretty daunting, and get it set up. Then the rooms are so small, you can only put about 6 or 7 people max at a time in those rooms. So they don't want to cut anybody off to close it down for 35 minutes to film a video, which is understandable. But man, I'm telling you, it was a cool experience. You know, I wanted to see some more younger people, not just older.
The guy that designed those Vivid audio cabinets, I could tell they looked like Bowers and Wilkins Nautilus. I think he left Bowers and Wilkins and works for Vivid Audio. Yeah,
it's got a similar vibe to the actual original Nautilus, and it makes sense the way they're set up.
Somebody said they took your business cards in the RBH room.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm the dealer here in town, so I tell you another speaker, man.
You met
that I saw that was the Karma speakers that Suncoast Audio had set up.
Right.
Those Karmas were amazing. So I don't know how much they were. They're probably 80, 90 grand a pair, but those things were beautiful. They really, really were great.
Yeah. Just look.
I got hushed as there was a reviewer in the room listening. Oh well. I got hushed. Hush.
You did?
Whatever. There was a reviewer in the room listening. I mean, come on, man. How much can you review?
Yeah, don't take yourself.
This is a sneak peek, dude. How much can you? Yeah. If you're a reviewer worth your salt, you know you're not going to get review worthy sound out of these speakers. I don't care what you say. You got to get them set up in a nice, you know what I mean? So sorry you got hushed, man. It wasn't because of me. I'd have buy you a beer or something, but not hush you. Just saying. No, but I'm hoping next year. I know we were coming out of COVID, but everybody was jiving. It was cool. I think the numbers will be up. Saturday was busier than Friday for sure. So it was pretty crowded on Saturday. Yeah, it was great, man. Just not a lot of new stuff, you know. There's one thing I will say. There's a company that's brand new called Infigo Audio, and they're out of British Columbia. And my boy Hans, Hans is good people. So we shut that down. We went in there and had them crank it up. We're dancing a little bit. We shot a video with them. So
okay.
Yeah, they make 2 monoblock amps that are $50,000 a pair with plexiglass tops on them. They're supposed to be full class A up to 250 watts without heating up the entire room. I'm not sure exactly how they do that. Then their preamp was about 35 grand. But I mean, this stuff.
Is it it must be massive. If it's 250 watts class A and it's not heating up the room, they have to have a lot of heat.
Pretty big. I mean, it was a thinner amp. It was a floor standing monoblock. So it wasn't your traditional horizontal amp. They were pretty big, but they weren't monstrous. Hans has this secret sauce that he uses, the Dutch sauce. He's a crazy Dutch bastard. So no, they were super cool. So they said they would send us some stuff for us to check out and review, because they're just trying to get their brand out there, and they're going to come out with some new products. They were great. Love to see new audio people coming into the market with some innovative thinking.
Yeah,
that was another one that aesthetically kind of got me.
So,
oh yeah, they were gorgeous.
Chad's already like, man, we need to get some bases for those and angle them up so you can look down. They had all kinds of blue circle lights and stuff going on down inside of it. It was kind of crazy looking, some mad scientist stuff.
If it's counterintuitive, it looks like it's one giant block of aluminum that was machined for the housings, but it's actually like 4 pieces that they put together. But if I was to guess, if you were to do it for one big block, it would have been a 100-pound block of aluminum that they mill out.
Wow.
Yeah, stunning.
On the sides, blue LEDs. Oh, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, there's some incredible craftsmanship in some of this high-end gear. I know it's not cheap, but it's never been cheap to be hip and trendy. So if you're into that look and you want something that looks amazing, you're going to pay for it, because obviously it costs money to make things the way they look like that.
Pete just said he's 11 grand for headphones. That's FU money. Yeah, but I'm telling you, they were selling them, dude. Those headphones are all machined out of like titanium, and they're Italian company. So I thought they were Russian at first. I was making fun of it. You must listen with a pencil. Who does that? No, but they were Italian. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, those things were amazing.
The guy took them away from me because I cranked them. Hold on.
Yeah, you get the hillbilly here gets on, puts tool on, and cranks it. The whole room, they're open back.
Well, they're open air, and that was something that I didn't realize before I put them on. But they're open air. There's nothing. They're not sealed. And I cranked up the little MacBook, and then I turned his little headphone amp all the way up, and I'm sitting there rocking out for like 3 minutes.
You were cranking, dude.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool, man. It was really cool. 11. It's all relative, man. Some people would go $1,500. Are you crazy for a set of headphones? To us now, that's about normal. What are what are those focals you got? Those retail for? Those are good, 4 or 5 grand, right?
No, I think they're about 3. I don't even remember to be. I don't know now, because all the prices go up with COVID, so it's hard to remember prices anymore. You know?
So we just did a video review on the Focal Canton number 2s. That'll be coming out here soon. Big fans of those.
Chad, when's it coming out, Chad?
I don't know.
Big fans of those speakers. Gene's got the Perlistons, and they're a little bright. Gene, not really. The subwoofer's a little bit bright. So that's our shout out to our boy, our Shane Lee, spare change himself. Yeah, I talked to him earlier. Great dude. You've got the Founder series.
I'm waiting on him. Actually, James Larson finished his review, and now they're at his house, and they're waiting. I'm waiting for them to ship him here. I'm not in a rush because I got the Perlisten 7 S7.
You're not in a rush. You got more. You talk about me. You got more speakers to review than anybody ever met, man.
Nobody has more audio equipment than Don, man. You can't even sneeze in his house.
You have a whole house full. You got 2 42 space racks full in your theater room.
I do.
And I live like a pauper.
Yeah, I've got a lot of equipment. I guess you
have a lot of equipment, but you're Gene De La Sala. You're the Godfather. You're supposed to have a lot of equipment.
Yeah,
but I've rocked his system. I ain't rocked yours yet.
Oh, we got to give him a demo. He hasn't heard.
Gene's gonna play some Smelly Cat or some Pat Mahoney or some shit. The only
Mahoney. Oh my God, man!
With the wig on, with the wig on. Play some Tool and some. Let Chad.
I'll put on Bassgasm for him.
No,
Bassgasm.
You can't be just.
Can he dance on your subwoofers? We were rocking out the other night. He was on my subwoofers dancing.
Yeah, what was that? Flow Rider with Joey?
Oh yeah, Flow Rider. Yeah, low. That was fun. So have fun with
public consumption. Sorry, guys.
I don't crank it loud all the time. I'm just saying it's nice to have a system with some, some juice on it, man. Especially when you got people that come over and they've never heard anything like that, and you put on a demo like Ready Player One or Private Ryan, and like they're like, oh my God, never knew anything like this existed.
Yeah. Well, that's about it. We're going to have a bunch of videos coming on this Florida Audio Expo. Next year, we're going to be more deeply involved with them. We're friends with Bart Ander.
Yeah, Bart's, listen, a shout out to Bart.
Down the road for me.
He did a killer, and the whole team did an amazing job on that show. Really, I think it went off without a hitch. Everybody was cool too, man. Like there wasn't, everybody was jiving, and I didn't get shush, which is a dream, amazing. So,
Mm-hmm.
So listening to someone else's audio scraps, just saying, aren't opposed. Yeah, gotcha. Well, Gene's got the scraps, so
yeah. Well,
when's your new panels coming in? I want to apologize to everybody for the white acoustic panels in the back of his room that don't match.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that, but it's hard to get stuff right now. So you got to get what you can. I'm going to be changing the panels in the back pretty soon.
So I got to meet Jerry there, and Jerry's got this big warehouse he keeps telling me about where he keeps his victims. I don't know. I'm going to go there and check it out one day. Said something about doing some demos. Jerry's super cool. So yeah. Cool. We'll have to check that out.
Available.
Hey, Barbara. No, I mean, nothing was groundbreaking at the show that I thought. I mean, it's great sound. The Usual Suspects brought their best game there, and they were amazing. Those headphones. Well, and a lot of that was the binaural recording too.
Yeah, you got to hear binaural demos.
$35 set of headphones sounds pretty good on a binaural recording. But it was you put them with the expensive $11,000 a pair Italiano headphones, and
that's a true statement right there. There were cables there that were probably $1,000 a foot at least.
Oh, dude, there was some cables there. And the little cable bridges, and those can't be cheap.
Yep.
Right.
Thrax room was killer. What's Thrax? That sounds like a King Crimson album or something.
That was like Dr. Seuss. Look like little tubes.
Awesome.
I may have missed the Thrax room.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't cover everything. I was only there one day, but next year we're going to be more methodical about it. We're going to work.
It wears you down, man. That's you're tired, blown out by the end of the day.
Well, you got tired from all that eating you were doing. That's tough work, Don.
What's that? What's that?
All that eating you were doing, man. That's tough work.
At the show?
Yeah. Well, no, just dinners and stuff. I mean, you just.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, you like to get together. You're a very social guy, so.
People like my company. What can I say? It comes at a price. Faux show, right? That faux place was good, man.
Yeah.
I had my doubts because I got there and there was no faux on the menu. I'm like, what kind of shit is this?
That's when you know
for the special menu.
Not on the menu. That's when you know you're going to get some good shit.
Don't take 9 people to a bistro with like 7 seats in it, dude.
Well, no, I wasn't planning on it.
Just saying. None of us ate anything since breakfast. We were there like 10 hours, and we get there and why does Don have Tom Berenger on the wall? Because Bonds. That's why. Bonds. He's the baddest character in any movie, dude. I love that guy.
Any changed thoughts from experiences at the show? Not really. I mean, I don't know, Don. Did you have any epiphanies at the show? I really didn't. I got to hear.
Listen, I think cables matter, and I don't want to get in that debate with you. I mean, I heard some.
Oh my God! Of course they matter. It can't work without cables.
So yeah, you asked me a question, and I said I heard some really good cables there. I mean, it's just hard because the rooms just aren't ideal, man. You know what I mean? Or you can't get in the right listening position. I don't
judgment on any speakers I heard at the show because I listened to the Paralescent demo and I thought the bass was good, but I felt like the treble was a little bit back.
The pancreas. Hell yeah, it does.
So we'll see when we get the.
I tell you, I if I had to say anything, man, I think the music that these companies play is this crap. Like, I mean, Chilean parlor music and whatever. I mean, whatever. No offense to Chilean music, but like just some of it's like just dull and boring.
Well, I actually started requesting Dominique there, and then all of a sudden people started playing her music.
Well, yeah. That was really cool. I mean, that's really well recorded. So supply chain issues in the industry are really bad right now. That's still a sore subject.
It's getting worse, not better, right?
We're really feeling the effects of it now, even though it started a while back, but it's really kicking in right now. So Jerry, you picked up Perlison dealership.
Oh, nice.
For Pinellas County area? Okay. They're great speakers, man. They're top shelf.
Yeah.
I'd like to spend more time with them before I give my real,
Well, you
opinion.
will. You're going to help me set them up on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, we're gonna set them up this week. Snake oil. Yeah. Look, man, I ain't saying that speakers make that big a difference. I think if you buy $60,000 speakers, you're out of your mind. But
no, I'm talking about cables, not the speakers.
What's that? Oh, speaker cables. That's what I meant. Yeah, cables.
Yeah.
Speaker cables. But I mean, you should get up to a good quality level. Sade, Dr. Dre, and Prince. Yeah, there you go. Great demos to play. Anything. Dominique is great. We got a lot of people playing that. Problem with a lot of the old rock songs is the recording,
Yep.
One dude brought in a CD. Some dude, he was like 90, and he brought a CD in to RVH, and it was like banjo music. And it was I was like, wow.
I heard one of them like
Chat perked up when he heard that. Chad did.
I'll pull your bead, you'll pull mine. I'll pull your bead one more time. Pull my beard like you did before. Break it up with a tug of war. I heard that going.
See, I moved to Kentucky. I wasn't born there. Don.
Okay.
Well, guys, that's a wrap. I wanted to tell you guys an interesting video that I'm working on our Patreon channel. I put up a post saying, ask Gene anything. I'm going to do a video just on that. And there's been a lot of responses there. So if you're a patron or you're thinking about becoming a patron, get on our patreon.com/audioholics. Get in there and put your question, because I'm about to shoot a video on the responses there. I think it's going to be quite entertaining. It's going to be a different kind of video for Audioholics. We're going to get more personal than we normally do. So it should be fun.
Yeah. So, how much you got to pay to ask the question?
I mean, if you're just a patron, we have our levels start at like $5 a month. So yeah, okay. Your question, you can ask me a question for free, Don. How about that?
I asked you plenty of questions, Godfather. It's okay.
Yeah.
So I'll refrain from.
How do you feel about tube amps? I don't have any negative feelings about tube amps personally. I think tube amps are especially great for sound production with guitars and stuff like that. For home theater playback, probably not the best choice. But if you're setting up a 2-channel system and you want to have that cool look, as long as it's a good amplifier,
I think it's a lifestyle
modern tubes are pretty good now. So I mean,
like if you have a killer LP player and then you got turntable and you got the tube thing and kind of retro, it's kind of cool. I mean, I don't have any big interest in any of that, but I mean, it's cool. So yeah, they had some tube amps there that were amazing, but they were pricey.
Yeah, I mean, I would own one of those back amps if I could. I just think it's just a cool looking product. I'd love to measure one for sure.
I would say this: if anybody asks me, and this is not just this show, it's in general, what do you get from it? I say audio is a whole lot of diminishing returns. Once you reach a certain quality level, then any increase in quality, even minor increase in quality, is exponentially expensive.
Or you scale the SPL.
What's that?
You scale SPL if you
scale
want
SPL. Yeah,
you want more output, you want more bass. Yeah, you want more output, you want more bass. You need a speaker that can play loud and that can fill a room. That's really what it boils down to once you get to a certain point.
Well, I think the per listens, and I'll give my final judgment once I spend some more time with them, but I think they're a cool speaker that's skirting the line between high output theater and audiophile quality. The people say, "Oh, a speaker sounds good in a theater. It should sound good on music." That's just not true. I mean, some speakers are designed for controlled dispersion and high output, and I don't necessarily. I mean, I guess I use M&K as an example. Back in the day, I had the 150 system that was amazing in multi-channel, but I hated it in 2-channel. You know what I mean? With the 3 tweeters and the 2. Maybe they've changed it since then. I know it's changed.
We haven't seen that. We haven't checked.
I know that using the same basic design, but it just was not a good. I mean, their single tweeter with multiple drivers were really, really musical, but that particular speaker, to reach that THX certification, had to use those 3 tweeters to achieve the output, and something with the dispersion on it was just funky.
Yep. That's true. All right, guys. Well, I think we are done here. Stay tuned for many videos to come. This guy over here is going to get busy when he gets back.
Yeah, he's going to be a big part of our team. So we're glad to have Chad helping us out. We're going to try to increase our video quality. We've got new cameras and some new stuff we're getting ready to implement, so we can join the quality influencers out there.
Then we could talk about speakers being a little bit bright.
A little bit bright.
All right, guys. Well, Don, appreciate you coming here, giving a report. Chad, hopefully we'll have you back on in a future.
Was it the Chad? It was definitely the Chad. Remember that? Man, you guys have no pop culture, dude.
Right. The world of Don. With that said, that's a wrap. And until next time, my friends, keep listening.